So I've been looking through my tents, working out which tents I want to give away over the next 6 months with on the channel, and I've come across a tent that I forgot I had. And when I've looked it up, wow, this tent has a lot of good things. And what I mean by that is it has a lot of features that a 4-season tent has, and I think it's a 2 to 3 seasons tent. So I thought, let's get it out, let's take a look at the tent, and I can show people what it's like, just in case within the future I do give it away with on the channel. And I can share this video in the description of the giveaway if I do give it away. Then you can have a good look at the tent if you want to enter it. But I'm not guaranteed this tent will be given away because it's got so many features that I've been looking for in a normal tent, should I say. Now, the brand of this tent is Firemaple. I know they do a lot of cooking equipment for camping, stoves, lanterns, and when I put this tent into YouTube, I'm surprised by everybody's reaction towards the tent. I've not yet found one negative thing. I feel little niggles, but they're not classed as negative because it's something you can just simply change yourself. So this is the tent that I'm on about. Now, it's not the lightest tent that I've got for camping. It definitely isn't the heaviest tent that I've got for camping. With the protective footprint, it's 2 kilos in weight. Without the footprint, it's 1.95 kilos, if I'm getting that right. In America, I think you call that 4 pounds in weight. But for the extra little bit of money you pay for the protective ground sheet, I'd just get that anyway. And like I say, it's 2 kilos in weight. With this and this, it's still not the heaviest 2 to 3 season tent I've got. Maybe not the lightest. I've got trekking pole tents. Now, I've experienced a lot of tents on this channel through camping, reviewing them, taking a look at them. I've also given away a lot of tents as well. I must, stress that. I don't want you to think, I'm just coming to this YouTube channel with this tent, not knowing anything about tents. I can see problems when I see a problem. I'm going to be fair, I'm going to be honest in this review like this. Now, the colour is what may put people off. Do you have a certain type of coloured tents that you would only use? Please do comment and let me know about it. I do normally like the darker green tents, but I do understand not all the brands do want to do that. This is like a, if you ask me, it's like a dark goldy colour, isn't it? So something's just fallen out. Let me see what that was. Oh, a little repair kit. Silicone seam sealer. Does that mean we have to seam seal the tent? It's not unnormal, that, uncommon should I say. There's a lot of tent companies out there what do this, where you have to seal them yourself. I don't think that's enough. You get a little brush and you get some little patches for the tent in case you rip it. I can't see that. I can't see you seam sealing this tent. It's, I think someone said on YouTube it's 3,000 hydrostatic head, and the footprint is 3,000 hydrostatic head as well. There's a beautiful deer just crossing past me here. So if you buy the footprint separate, you can do this as a little bit of a setup where you do not need the inner of the tent. We'll do that first and then we'll sort it back out. So you put the protective footprint down, then the inner of the tent, and then we'll put the fly sheet on. But first of all, we'll get the footprint down. I'll show you the setup where you don't need the inner mesh in case it's, a nice warm summer's night and you want to have it like this. So within the tent bag, they do give the standard tent pegs and a couple of more guidelines there. I think you get about 4 of them by the looks of that, but they're the standard pegs. That's the deer, so what you get from most tents that are made in China. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Get 14 pegs altogether. Now the poles are 7001 aluminium poles, and it's all in one as well. It's one complete pole, so you don't end up losing them or getting them mixed up. So you basically just do it like this, and as you do it, your worm just clicking together. Like that. Now this is something I want to take a look at when putting this tent up, because I saw other couple of YouTubers videos about the tent, you know, just so I get a little bit of idea about other things. Like I say, I've put up a lot of tents in my time with being on YouTube, but it's always good to check out other videos. Yeah, I thought I'd bring you in for what I mean by this. Yeah, do we have it on top when you put the inner in place, or do you have it underneath? I think if you have it underneath, the inner mesh may be a bit loose. If you have it on top, it gives it probably that extra inch or so lift. We're gonna have to have a look at that. We'll try both ways, see what we get. That's the inner mesh outer fly sheet. The logo is big, it's there, but end of the day, it's not that bad really. Right, we do need to put it over the tent like this. Just connect it to the bottom of the tent itself. Right, so the tent is all set up, very taut. It's not bad, very easy to set up. That's the logo. I've seen worse and I've seen smaller logos, but that just seems to be round about right. If I'm going to peg it out in windy night, definitely use these guidelines here to get these pulled out, just to make it a lot more secure in the wind. There's your storm flap there, let's say, you know, for the wind and rain. If it's velcroed in place right, no rain's going to get in there. I do like it when tents make these zip covers, let's say, with a slightly little bit more thicker material in it, you know, so when it is windy, that's not flapping around in the wind. Now this is an honest video, I'm just being honest about it. There's a couple of things that I do want to show you, but for now I want to get the door open to show you what it's like inside, just as it is. There's no winner. But these doors, now you can have it like this, one door, and it gives you a tie out point there to get it tied out, or you can just take that off, the peg that I put it down on anyway, and then you can have it all the way over. So it's like a two-way door system. See, like that. Now I will be leaving that like that just for a few minutes while I get the inner mesh in place. I'm sure you can do it when it's set up like this. But this will be good for, like, if it's slightly raining, if I can put the inner in position like this. Because it's not worse having an inner pitch tent when it's raining. So if this works, it's going to be all good. There's a lot of room on the inside. Yeah, so it looks like I can go inside from underneath the tent and just clip it in place with these under the poles. Seems to be probably the same measurement each side, so I don't have to worry about one side being slightly narrower than the head side. Normally with tents, if it's wider at one end, that's where your head will be. If it comes down to a bit narrower at the bottom, that's where your feet would be. But this seems to be all in one. All in one, that makes no sense. The same all around. It probably would be a bit easier setting the tent up without the fly sheet on. But we're going to give it a go anyway, just see how it goes. Ooh, it's warm here. That's one corner there. So we're going to have to do it a corner at a time, aren't we? And start connecting it to the pole like this, what you can surely hear me doing. Yeah, this is good. I like this. You can pitch this tent in bad weather, but it's always a massive bonus when it is rain or starting to rain. You don't have to do it. I suppose you can do it either way. It's entirely up to you, isn't it? You want to do it where put the fly in a mesh at first with poles. You want to do it like this, but I say it would definitely be better putting it up like this. Now I do, as I'm here, furthest one away from the door last. There's no doubt you'll end up trapping yourself in. Just connecting them. Right, get this. Right, you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong pegging it out, it's just so easy. There we go. And last but not least, do the bottom corner. Get that. Seems to be a bit harder. And that locked in place there. And there we have it. So you can pitch it with the outer fly sheet on first. And I must say, what a load of room. Wow. Firemaple have definitely thought about this tent. Now, like I said earlier, there's a few things about this tent what I rarely see in 2 to 3 season tents. Now, a lot of people say this is quite familiar to the MSR tents. I've never had an MSR tent, and they're just way too much money for me to spending on them. But I have spent £600 on a really good winter tent. So yeah, I've never owned an MSR tent, so I can't, you know, compare this with that sort of tent. But something I've noticed here, what Firemaple have done is they give you a load of storage, overhead storage, and they give you a door, mesh door let's say, what isn't in the way when you want to get in and out of your tent all the time. So if you unzip it, look at that, it's like a triangle. Look at that. And then this, you'd think, well, that's all right, but you can roll it up if you want and tie it out there to the side of the door. But some tents on the markets, the nature hike ones, are pretty bad for it. They normally have the door where it's just flapping around on the bottom of the tent here. Well, they've done something with this, and I like it a lot. You can just roll it up, and there's a loft hatch, loft storage, whatever you want to call it. You can put it to the top there, and you've got you're not standing over anything. The bathtub must be 8 inches high. Some points 9 inches because it's bigger where your head would be. Stop the draft coming in getting you. You know, if it's like a colder night. I like that idea. And the loft hatch seems to be loft hatch. Why am I saying loft hatch? The loft storage, let's say, seems to have 3 or 4 different areas. Let me take you in to show you. Yeah, look at that. So you've got one set here, but it's double. So you can stick your door mesh on top there, and if night time, you know, you're putting it away and stuff, and you're putting your door down, let's say, you've got all this then for storage. And you've got one on this side as well. But like I say, if you're just setting the tent up, it's a summer's night, you want to chat with your friends or whatever when you're camping, you can just roll your doors and just stick them up there, and they're clearly out of the way. It does have a lantern holder at top. One thing that I think they should have thought about again is, see here, this is where your storage is connected to the inner mesh area of the tent. Then you've got one here. But what they should have thought about doing is putting like a washing line from here to here, like a diamond shape. So you can put stuff there like a t-shirt if it's wet from hiking, sweating, your socks, whatever you could do. They should have just thought about doing that there. But But like I say, if I just bring you back down so I can see you properly, you can see me. If they did that, it'd be so good. But look at that. You're not now crawling over your doors. Your doors are not tucked into the side of the pockets within the tent. There's 4 of these pockets, 1 at each corner. This is a perfect one-man tent and his rucksack. You can get in it with a friend if you want, your partner, one of your kids. I don't know how you want to camp, but I'm just saying, it is very spacious. Very, very spacious. We'll run over the measurements in a minute. I just love this. You know, I've got this in my QU tent. I think that is the only other tent I've got this in. But it's so handy, innit? Look, like I say, you've got these. It's so good as well having this. Is like when you're wintertime camping, it gets dark about 4 or 5 o'clock over in UK. These are perfect to be putting like a little light just in there, so you can have it coming down. If you've not got a spot on it to hang it up by a lantern holder, you just put it in top. You can have your phone there, your keys there, your snacks there, and then don't forget you've got your 4 pockets. This is all I've never seen these in a 2 to 3 seasons tent before, and I think this is brilliant. I really do. Now there's a few things that I'm going to point out. I don't see why they did it. Maybe if Firemaple want to comment and say why they did it, it's up to them. One of the issues is it does have to protect the ground sheet to it. You've seen that, but your vestibule area, they've only give coverage for 1 of the doors, not both of the doors. So if it's a 2-person tent, 1 of you's got coverage, 1 hasn't. So this is the one with the protective ground sheet cover, and this is the other one without it. I don't know why they just didn't cover it all perfectly. Now that is a little bit slack. I could have tied it up at the corners when I pinned it out. No need for that, it's just a quick video. But yeah, I don't know why they didn't do that. It would have been good to have that. It's not majorly big enough, let's say, for your rucksacks, maybe not. Maybe your stove when you're not using it, maybe your boots and stuff like that would be all right there. But it's not a lot of room. But by saying there's not a lot of room, what you can do is, if you've got your hiking sticks with you, I don't have them on me, you can really pin this out in 2 points. Here to lift it up, and then you can use this side here to get it right out, like a bit of a sunblock, or you know, a weather shelter thing, or it's like a bit of a coverage. If you want to get it, you can really do that. But I don't like to do that myself with tents. 9 times out of 10 I really don't take hiking poles anyway. But there is another way you can do it to give yourself extra room. So compared to what it was, look at the amount of room you've got. That is brilliant. And what I like about this tent is, now this door here opens left, the other door opens right. So if the wind's blowing in this direction, you can put this door open like this. If the wind's blowing this direction, close this, open the other one, and you've got a blockage from the wind there as well. I just wish they would have put a slightly bit more thicker material in there. That's on it downfall with it, really. What I can see I can't solve myself. What I mean by solve myself is, this is the other issues. You see these? There's no other cord to it. So if your ground is not level, when you're going to peg it out, you're going to really struggle to get it in a, just say if you hit a rock here or here, you know, where it can go out to. So what I mean by there, there's not there, you can't stretch it a bit more. There could be a little bit more paracord at the end here as an adjustment, just like there is on corner of each corner of the tent. But these ones here and the ones in the centre, you can't adjust them. So if you're on a bit of level ground, you know, and it's a bit different, you can't get the pegging, and if you do, you end up pulling the tent right down like that, where you're stretching the material. I'll show you what I mean by the adjustment straps. These ones here, so you can just adjust them. You put tension on the fly sheet by doing that. If it had that on all of the corners, it'd be a lot better, especially on these ones here, because you can see you've not got much to play around in. If you had it, you could at least get it in ground somewhat needs to be, then just pull it up. most tents have that, and you can tow it, but it's nice and tall as it is. But I am on flat ground. Lake districts, peak districts, anywhere like that, you're not guaranteed to get flat points, so that would be an advantage having them on there. But there's something I do want to show you what I like about this tent. So it's a warm summer's night, you know, you want to get a bit of airflow through the best you can, and you're using the full tent. If you just unpeg it from here, take your peg out, you can roll it up like this. And then pull that cord there. Let's just get it. You can peg it out like that, and then you've got a lot of airflow coming through, and I think you can do the same with the other door. So you can have a lot of airflow through, so if it's a warm night, you're not going to build up a lot of condensation within the tent, because this will just allow the air to come through. That is great. I do like that tent, idea of the tent. Any other tents that do this, do let me know in the comments, because I am unsure about it. You do have the two vents here. Yeah, that will flap in wind a little bit, but not too bad. Now, a lot of people don't like this idea of flap in case, you know, the wind and the rain can make its way in. They like them normally a little bit further down, and the flap cover just being slightly bigger, pointing in the same direction. But you are talking about 2-inch difference from where the flap ends to the inner mesh. You get one of them vents and you get one at the other side. So you see the door here, you don't peg it out, but it's got one of the metal ring clips. I don't know what you call them actually, but anyway, what you do with that is you put your hiking pole through that, and it just keeps it in place when you're having the door wide open. But it's got one on here and the other side of the door. This is stage 1 of the door, opening, rest of it is stage 2, and probably stage 3 of it is when you do put your bottom of the hiking pole through it, so you keep it up, and then you pull out your pole with a guideline just to keep it in strength. But what I like about this tent as well is you don't need the fly sheet on. You can just have it as the inner mesh with the protective footprint as well. So I've got the inner mesh set up and everything now. Took the fly sheet off, re-pegged it back out. This is a bit of a problem, not going to cause you any issues camping out. But when you go around with the zips, and they're not YKK zips, I can't see what zips they are. When you come out and zip it up, this here, 9 times out of 10, catches. And what that is, it's where you can tie your tent door in place. Okay, it just catches, so you're going to have to be very careful with that. You have to sort of separate them. See, I'm still separating, I'm still catching the inner one. There we go. Yeah, I know they can't help it, you need to tie your door off. But if you can stick it in the top of the tent, storage area, you don't really need them. You could just get rid of them. I can't imagine anybody really using them when you can stuff it in the storage part on top of the tent. It's well out of the way, it's not going to come undone, it's not going to get loose and start sagging down. It's out of the way. And that is the best thing about it. And I'm going to say now, don't be surprised if you see this tent being used on my channel a lot. So I'm deeply impressed with the size of the room in it. As a one-man tent, I know they say a 2-person tent, but is it a 2 to 3 person? No, I'd say a 2-person, a lot of room in there for 2 people. But for me, myself, definitely a spacious one-man tent. Very nice. I really do like it. The poles are no different. The poles are in a lot of the, like, nature hike tents. The pegs are no different. I like the way the door works. I like the way you can open the door to give yourself more room. I like the way you can use your hiking sticks to really pull out the door, so a bit of extra coverage. I don't normally do that with tents. I like, but it's got a hell of a lot of storage. A lot of storage in this tent. 4 corners, and like I say, the roof has got 4 different little areas. But yeah, we're going to have to go down the boring side of it, aren't we, and talk about measurements and weight and stuff like that now. just get rid of these. I don't see why you need it when you can just do that and it's out of your way, just like that. Right, so this is the boring part of a tent review or unboxing, let's say. If you're not interested in this, because all this stuff you can find on the website, and I will share all the information in the description the best that I can, but I will share a link to the website about this tent. Now, the height of the tent from the floor to the inner top, let's say to the storage, it's all written down so I can't get it wrong, that is 38 inches. From the floor right to the top, if you get rid of these storage, I don't know why you'd want to do that, that is 43 inches. The length of it is 79 inches. The 79 inches, what's that in feet? 6'6", I think. Anyway, 79 inches, a lot of room. The crossways from here to the other side is 47 inches. The pack down bag is 20.5 inches by 7.1 inch thick, the bag is. Now overall, the poles are 7001 aluminium poles, 9mm thick, very thick. It is a 3 seasons tent. Like I say, the foot bath all around it, the wall is about 8 inch to 9 inch at the foot end, and the head inch, it grows up a little bit like this. Goes up a bit, not grows up. It goes up on a bit of a hatch. 2 doors, we've said that. 2 vents, 2 storm flaps. That's some things there. The weight, like I say, is 2 kilos in weight if you get the protected ground sheet. I think that's always a good idea to get the ground sheet. Now it's 20 nylon. Most of the tent is made out of 20 nylon. The mesh is B3 mesh. Like I said, all this will be in the description because I'm useless at getting stuff wrong sometimes. But if you just wanted to see the tent set up like this, this is what you're going to get. Now at the moment the tent is selling for $283. That's about £210 British money. There's not much more I've got written down here what I can help you with. Like I say, the inner size is 43 inch from the floor right to the top, 38 from here to the storage, crossways 47 inch, total lengthways 79 inch. I like the tent a lot, I really do. I can see why I got the tent now. But this is just my situation where over the years I've got a lot of tents just because I wanted a new tent, and then I've got stuck in using the average tents that I use quite a lot. Like winter time, I like to hot tent camp now. Summertime, it's a lighter weight tents. But as you come into back end, like now, we're getting to mid-August, I think it is. So, not mid-August yet, early August. So by the time we come back end of August into September, that's when it starts getting a lot lighter at evenings. And October, November, December, you know, we're getting into darker times again. But this has got everything you need. I really do like this tent. I just wish you'd give a little bit of tension straps on the points that I'm pulling out. I just like the overhead storage in a 2 to 3 seasons tent. I think that's absolutely great. You get 4 storage on each side of the tent. That's just good. The whole tent is thought of, and I didn't know Firemaple did tents. Oh, I forgot, I must have known. I always thought they did like cooking systems, like pot boilers and lanterns, pot pans and stuff like that. But to say this is their first tent, I wonder what the next one's going to be like. I want to do a 4 seasons tent, and if they do, whatever tents they do bring out next, I'd stick to the same colour that you do in it. I think people will like that sort of colour, especially in like autumn and like probably early spring. I think people will like the colour of that tent for that. Summertime, it's always like green tents to like a brownie tent. But yeah, I really do think they've got themselves a good tent here. I think they've done a lot of their own work. I like but you can roll the ends up to allow the airflow through. I do like that. There's not much more I can say about the tent, apart from I do like it. I really do. There's not much more I can say apart from do get rid of these. You don't need these. You know, why would you roll the tent up to have your door here hanging around when you can just stick it up there and it's out of the way? Let me know what you think about that, people. What would you do if you're watching video now at this point? Would you be happy just to roll the tent up? Because it comes up here anyway. Are you happy just to stick the tent door in the storage area on top? Or would you be somebody who rolls it up and puts it here? I think this comes with the tent. I'm not sure you have to pay extra for that. I really don't. I like it. I just like the whole tent. Mind you, I like every tent that I get for some reason, don't I? That's all I can say. Look, I'm going to stop going on about it. I think it's a great tent, and if it's something you're looking at for first time camping, you know, I think you'd probably get yourself attached to this tent, and you might not want to look for another one for a long time. There is cheaper versions out there. There is more versions, you know, expensive versions of tents. Let's say that again, Daniel. Let's just rewind that. There is more expensive tents out there. There's cheaper tents, but at the end of the day, you can only spend the money that you've got. And the way over in the UK, everything just keeps going up and up, up and up. Having a lot of money to spend on a tent these days is becoming harder to get hold of. Now, if you buy yourself a cheap tent, let's say £20–30 brand new tent off Amazon, eBay, place like that, you're going to expect it to be not much quality. But if you start spending like £210 on a tent, you're going to want quality, and I think this is a quality tent for that much. Yeah, you just buy it to your means, don't you? End of the day. Well, I'm going to sit back. I'm just going to lay down in this tent, I think I'm just going to take it easy, because it's a very spacious one-man tent, and it's something I'm interested in using a lot on the channel. Right, I'm getting off anyway. Thanks for watching. If you want to see me using this tent, other tents, I move out way for this part, and all other type of tents, especially at winter time, hot tents, cooking, magazine, food, still do bivvy tents in winter as well. Click here, you can subscribe to the channel. I'll put another video up there for you. But if you're thinking about getting this tent, just go for it. I don't think you'll be disappointed. I should have used this tent a long time ago. Thanks for watching.